Hey, what's up guys? This is Richard with Salt Strong. Today is pretty windy out, so that means a little bit of boat maintenance. But there's a couple things I wanted to show you, a few quick tips and stuff that I'm gonna do with my trailer today. If you can come over here, I'll show you exactly why I'm doing some maintenance today. But you can see this right here. There you go. That is what's called a buddy bearing, and unfortunately, this is a default right here on this particular buddy bearing. So what I'm going to do today is take this off and put on a new one, and I'll show you the exact process for that. All right guys, before we get started, there's really only three things that you need, and I've got them laid out right here for you. So one, you've got the budding bearing itself right here. This is what we're going to replace. I'm only replacing one today because that one I have is on default, but that's what we're going to replace. You're going to need a rubber mallet. That's what's going to help you kind of take that old one out and put this new one in. Don't use a metal one unless you absolutely have to. The rubber mallet's a lot better. And then once it's all installed, we've got a grease gun kit. This is a pretty cheap one, but it's small and you can kind of put it wherever you need to in your boat even, or if you're on a road trip, it's not a lot of space to put in your truck either. So this is all you need, and we'll go ahead and replace that buddy bearing step by step. All right guys, so the method that I'm using right now just to get this bearing buddy out is just very, very lightly tapping kind of on the outside and each part of that buddy bearing. And as you can see, a little bit comes out each time, and after you get it to kind of move one way, you just go and hit it on the other side, and basically you're just wedging it out, and eventually by just lightly tapping like this, it'll pop right out. All right guys, so finally got that buddy bearing out. Anyway, got that one off, and what we're gonna do is go ahead and go down to the hub, get a towel, kind of clean everything else out, make sure there's no more, any rust and that there's grease in there. Then we'll go ahead and put that new buddy bearing on and get that in there so it's all fixed up. Okay guys, so one thing that I did leave out in the parts list is, if you can, bring some type of flat surface, preferably something like wood or just something that will stay flat on that buddy bearing. That way you can hit that with your hammer or whatever you need. As you see here, I'm having to hit it very, very lightly, especially with the metal hammer, because you do not want to damage these things going in. But luckily I have the rubber hammer, and I was able to get a good kind of pressure all around that made it go in and fit in really well. But yeah, if you can get a block of wood or something like that, typically that works much better. All right guys, so I just went ahead and filled up my buddy bearing with grease, and the test to make sure it's all the way full and pressurized in there once you're done, and make sure you've got enough grease, is you can just push back against this, and if it's not enough grease, you'll be able to actually push it back in. But you can see I'm pushing pretty hard with my thumb right here, and it's not moving at all. So that means this is completely full of grease and sealed, and those springs are going to push that grease back into the bearing. So you should be good to go and sealed in from water or anything like that. All right guys, second quick tip on boat maintenance here. What I've got is just some multi-purpose lubricant, and this is going to be for cleaning your electronics, any cables and things like that. This one goes to the onboard trolling motor. Then we'll move up to the actual trolling motor, and I'll show you why we're going to use this stuff and kind of clean it out, make it a little neater. This is all we're using right here guys, just real simple. Just get a little bit of a spray on there. Looks a lot better, nice and cleaned up. Now we can just go ahead and put it back in there. Goes in a lot smoother too. All right, now let's go ahead and move up here to the front. All right, so let's see, right here, guys, this is what we're going to be taking off and cleaning. All right, I don't know if you guys can see in there or right here, see all that corrosion right there? This is what we're going to try and get rid of. So I'm just going to get that same cleaner, spray it on here, try to wipe it off as good as we can with a towel, put it back in, and be good to go. All right, guys, so that's all it was for just getting those electronics all cleaned up. Just real simple, just spray a little bit of this stuff on there. This 336 CRC multi-purpose lubricant, that's all you need. And there's nothing crazy you have to do, but just staying on top of it will really help with that corrosion, because it's gonna happen with salt water. So just one more thing to do while you're kind of messing around and doing maintenance on your boat. All right, guys, next thing I'm gonna do in my boat today while I'm messing around doing some maintenance is, if you can see this carpet right here on the running board just starting to come off and sag, and it's getting a little bit loose down here, and you don't really want that. So all I'm gonna do is get a staple gun, just your standard, you know, T50 staples right here. I'm gonna go underneath and I'm gonna staple going along these running boards. And these boards, you know, they're not too bad. You can get them in kits and everything like that, but these are still pretty good. Just some of this carpet's coming off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get under here and just make sure that we can get all this carpet that you see right here. See how that's coming off? I'm gonna go ahead and get this stapled in and all good to go, and that way I don't have to worry about it coming off in the future. All right, guys, so I'm still under here in the boat, and I just wanted to show you kind of the pattern that I'm doing. So basically right around, let's do this one a little easier to see, but right around here you can see I basically overlapped these guys, and I did one solid line on the one that is in the bottom first. That way I get a little bit of that second one, and then once that's all good to go, I come back and do a second line on that other one. I'm doing it roughly every, you know, 1.5 to 2 inches. You know, want to make sure this is pretty secure, and staples are pretty cheap, so want to make sure that this is good to go, and that's all it is. Now I've got a nice, really solid running board with the carpet all nice and tight. All right, guys, so that's it for today for these 3 quick tips on boat and trailer maintenance. If you have any questions, or if there's anything that you like to do as well, kind of during the off season, or making sure that your equipment's ready and good to go, please leave a comment and leave it below. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club for saltwater anglers, especially if you're targeting redfish, sea trout, snook, or flounder. There's nothing else like it, and we actually guarantee that you'll catch more fish while saving time and money. We do this with our premium education, the exclusive insider community, and huge discounts on all the tackle you need. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.